Cricket, lovely cricket.
I don't know things. I've had an absolutely cracking time making these 3-hour-long films, sitting here in my lovely little cottage in Norfolk with all my things around me, and it has been such fun. The stories have been so good, in fact, and so amusing. We've had to leave this one out, which I think will show you just how good all the rest of them are and how very, very amusing too. And we're also giving a lot of money to some really splendid cricketing charities. So anyone who buys these 3 films, $14.99 is the, I think, very agreeable price, a good portion of that is going to go to these wonderful charities. So if you buy the film, then you and I will be in the most wonderful partnership, won't we? I mean, goodness me, I'd have you on my side anytime. And we'll put on masses of runs. We'll make lots of money for the charities. And at the end of this little piece I'm doing, you'll find all the appropriate details so that you can sign up, you can buy the film, and then you and I really will be in partnership. And what great news. And I want you to run carefully between the wickets. No running me out. So when I came out of hospital, I remembered my father driving me back in CG 1000, of course, in some style, to the big house into which we just moved. And there I sort of convalesced and got better very quickly. But Dr. Bennett used to come up. He was the local GP, an absolutely splendid chap. He wore as much Brill cream as Dennis Compton, and it was swept back, shiny hair. He was lovely, Dr. Bennett. And there was the wonderful story, which I must tell you, which my father always used to tell about him. And Daddy always said that once he went to see him, and there were quite a lot of people in the waiting room, and he awaited his turn, although he had an appointment. And one of the people in the waiting room was a nun. Now, you don't often see a nun in a doctor's waiting room, do you really? I mean, I don't know whether nuns have reason to go first, or maybe doctors go to nuns rather than the other way around. Anyway, there she was. And someone came down the stairs. Dr. Bennett's consulting room was upstairs. And the nun got up and walked very slowly, looking very white and ashen, and went upstairs and went into Dr. Bennett's room. He held the door open, and in she went. And she was there quite a long time. Daddy was the next one in the list. And eventually, the door opened. And so my father got up and tripped up halfway up the stairs and got to the first little landing. And when he looked out, and he suddenly saw the nun coming down one step at a time, looking awful. He said he'd never seen another human being look so good. It was really absolutely awful. She looked so white and desperate. And he let her pass, and then he went on up, and Dr. Bennett held the door open, shut the door. And he turned to Dr. Bennett and said, Dr. Bennett, I've never in my life seen another human being look as ill as that nun. And Dr. Bennett said, yes. He said, yes, it's dreadful, isn't it? He said, it's really, really, really dreadful. And my father said, what happened? When he said, you see, I've just had to tell her she was pregnant. Of course, it's not true, but it cured her hiccups. I think it's one.
Cricket, lovely cricket, at last where I saw it. Cricket, lovely cricket.